Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Mystery Behind History, a segment where I dive into history and come out with mysterious stories which make that situation look so much better. It may have happened in front of you, but you may not have realized, or something that you just don't know about. And once you know about that mystery, that scenario looks so much more beautiful to look at. Hope you enjoy this episode. Dhoni finishes off in style, a magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years. The party has started in the dressing room, and it's an Indian captain who has been absolutely magnificent in the night of the final. We all know this dialogue, don't we? We all know when MS Dhoni hit that strike over long gone, made India complete a dream that was not filled for 28 years, gave Sachin Tendulkar the perfect gift before he retires. So many youngsters in that team, so many elderly players in that team who were at the latter stages of their career, all of them together winning a World Cup in India with that home pressure, a sublime performance by that Indian team under MS Dhoni. We remember Gautam Gambhir scoring 97. Of course, we remember MS Dhoni hitting that 6. Jayawardene getting 100. Sehwag and Sachin getting out early. That partnership between Gambhir and Kohli. So many stories in that entire match that lasted for a good 7-8 hours and thrilled us that night, that Sunday night on the 2nd of April in 2011. But there are so many stories that we don't know about which would make that match so much more interesting to know. How did that match start? Well, it started with possibly a very, very controversial toss to start with. MS Dhoni tossed the coin. Kumar Sangakkara called heads instead of heads or tails. It dropped. Well, what MS Dhoni heard was that he won the toss. And all of a sudden Kumar Sangakkara tells him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I called heads." The toss had to be done once again, because as soon as the toss happened, the players started walking back to the dressing room to get ready, and then they looked out. MS Dhoni is spinning the coin again. They were like, "What is happening out here?" Well, that's what happened. Kumar Sangakkara called hails, and that World Cup final started with a bit of a hail. As Sri Lanka were batting, there was this very threatening moment between Samarveera and Jayawardene. That match could have taken that partnership could have taken the match away out of India's hands. Then Yuvraj Singh comes into ball, and the first ball he lands, Samarveera tries to sweep and hits him right in front. And he appeals. Simon Toffel is unmoved. He says, "No way." He looks at MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni says, "Impact to bahar hai yaar. It's outside the off stump, the impact. There's no way this is going onto the stumps." But then, in a fraction of a second, MS Dhoni looks at Yuvraj again and says, "Chal le lete." Like, you know what? It's a World Cup final. Let's take this review. Guess what? It was out. Samarveera gets out. Now, what if MS Dhoni had, trusted his first call, and said, "I don't want to take this review"? What if that partnership actually would have taken the match away from India's hands? So sometimes you have to take these risky decisions. MS Dhoni did take that risky decision, and well, that was super profitable for India that day. That broke that partnership and certainly got India back into the game. And thanks to Yuvraj Singh, who ended up being man of the tournament, something like that happened. Lasith Malinga got the wicket of Sachin Tendulkar. Mumbai crowd was absolutely quiet. In fact, Virat Kohli, narrates this beautiful story. He says, "When I went out to bat, I looked left and right and saying, somebody at least cheer for me." Because he himself says that Sachin Tendulkar is such a big icon in this country that people are so connected with him. They only react to what's happening with him. Virat Kohli was walking inside. Now today, if Virat Kohli walks inside, the whole stadium stands and gives him a standing ovation. But that day, nobody cared Virat Kohli is walking in. Sachin Tendulkar is walking out was the emotion around Wankhede Stadium. Everybody, it was drop dead silence. So Virat Kohli thought, maybe the match is not happening in India, because you can never have such a pin drop silence in India, or they think I'm a number 11 batsman and there is no hope. That's what Virat Kohli thought as soon as he was walking out, because that was the sort of emotion that everybody had attached with Sachin Tendulkar. Now obviously Sachin Tendulkar came out, he was livid with himself, he was unhappy because already Sehwag was out, then Sachin getting out, Malinga taking 2 wickets, India 31 for 2 under pressure, chasing 275, which is a massive score in a World Cup final. So obviously Sachin Tendulkar was very angry. Now there were 2 gentlemen in that dressing room who were very, very smart. They said, it's better not to sit in the dressing room where Sachin Tendulkar is sitting, because you may just get fired any minute. Piyush Chawla and Ravichandran Ashwin were the only 2 Indians that day who were not counting the runs and the balls. They quietly were counting the bonus money India going to receive that day, with every boundary hit or every 6 hit. Quietly, both of them were sitting on the staircase. So it was Piyush Chawla's idea. He went and told Ashwin, "You know what, let's sit on the staircase, let's not go to the dressing room. Let's quietly count the bonus money we are going to receive after every boundary and every 6. That's the best thing we can do." And India had to get all that bonus money. So even all the Indian cricketers after the match, after India won the World Cup, thanked Piyush Chawla and Ravichandran Ashwin for doing that activity because yes, they got a lot of bonus money with every boundary and every six. The two gentlemen were good accountants that day for the Indian team. Sachin was livid with himself, as I said. He came and he sat down quietly in front of, a coffin type of a cricket kit that he had where his kids had painted that Indian flag and a few good pictures, a few godly pictures, a few deities from India, all of them were stuck over there, and Sachin was just joining his hands and praying. Sehwag was sitting next to him and he just got up and said, I'm going outside and watching the match. He said, no, dare you leave this place, sit next to me. What's the difference in sitting here and sitting outside? You're going to say the same thing. And Sehwag was like, okay. Now Sehwag wanted to go to the washroom. He said, can I please? He said, no way, you're not going anywhere for the next 3 hours. Let this innings come to an end. Poor guy had to sit there throughout and he was so uncomfortable. But eventually, when the match finished, everybody went out and celebrated and Sehwag went to the washroom. That's how the entire game was. He was certainly very uncomfortable. Sachin Tendulkar was that kind of a person that you would never say no to. Now, we all know that Gautam Gambhir scored that 97 and was certainly the hero of that match. Obviously, MS Dhoni's 6 is something we remember because he stayed not out 91. But without Gambhir's 97, possibly that 91 won't have value. So Gautam Gambhir was in a relationship at that time, and previous night, the night before the match, he told his partner that, you know what, the World Cup match is happening tomorrow, the final. You want to come and watch it? I have a pass, you can just watch it for free and you'll enjoy it. His partner, what she told him was, World Cup final, is it that important? Can you believe it? She must have regretted that all her life that she couldn't see her hero score those 97 runs the next day. But she actually questioned Gambhir, saying, is it that important? Well, it turned out to be super important when it came to Gautam Gambhir's career. Now, something happened when Virat Kohli got out. Now, generally, if it's a match, Yuvraj Singh would have gone out to bat. People always question why did MS Dhoni go out to bat that day before Yuvraj Singh. There were a few reasons. First of all, Yuvraj Singh had a very negative record when it came to facing Muthaiya Muralidharan. That was Muthaiya Muralidharan's final ODI for Sri Lanka. Certainly, you didn't want to give him a wicket in that match, if you're an Indian. MS Dhoni and Muralidharan had played against each other in the IPL for Chennai Super Kings, so MS Dhoni had played him a lot in the nets. Also, a right-handed batsman got out, a right-handed batsman should go in. That's what Sachin Tendulkar thought that back then. So he actually told Sehwag that, you know what, go and tell MS that he should go in. Don't let Yuvraj go in. Let's keep that lefty-righty combination. Let's keep the bowlers a little more uncomfortable in their line and lengths. Let's annoy them. So there were a few reasons that made MS Dhoni go out there, and certainly it was super profitable because he scored that 91 not out, that winning 6, 2 sixes in that innings. Magnificent innings for a World Cup winning captain. Well, he made India win that much deserved World Cup. So many other things surrounding that. MS Dhoni himself narrates this interesting story that as soon as he hit that winning 6, the first thought that came in the mind is, Bas ho gaya. It's come to an end. Because wherever he went, the first thing people would tell him is, Yaar, World Cup jeet jana, India mein hai. Please win the World Cup, it's happening in India. MS Dhoni had to actually tell them that no other home country has ever won the World Cup. So please don't put so much pressure on us. But everywhere, hotel room, if he would have ordered some room service, the hotel manager, fans out here, there, the bus driver, everybody, the same statement would come out. World Cup India mein hai, jeetna hi chahiye. It's in India, you have to win. He had to convince everybody that, no home country has won, so don't put so much pressure. The first thing you notice when he hits that winning 6, he stays in that position for a good 2-3 seconds. So in those 2-3 seconds, he takes in that moment. In that, he actually tells himself, ho gaya. It's come to an end. Now I can live with a little more of peace. Because that 2-3 months were really tough for an Indian team because the World Cup was in India. Especially the pressure of Sachin Tendulkar winning. Because people sort of came to accept that this may be Sachin Tendulkar's last World Cup. So certainly it was a perfect gift from, I promise you, entire Marine Drive was blocked. In fact, the entire country was blocked as such because everybody was celebrating. The celebs was out. Celebs were out on the roads. Shah Rukh Khan, Abhishek Bachchan, all of them were dancing on the roads, celebrating India's memorable victory. And horns all over, everybody with Indian flags outside. It was something to celebrate. Wankhede Stadium to Trident Hotel, because I lived on that road, I know Wankhede Stadium to Trident Hotel, it can take you less than 15 minutes to reach. That day it took the Indian team more than 2 hours because it was blocked, literally blocked. But Indians really didn't matter. For them, it actually didn't matter. They were celebrating like anything, dancing throughout the bus journey. Everybody was singing those nation building songs, everything, that entire atmosphere was magical in that bus, outside the bus, entire country, something that should be relived again. I hope India win a World Cup pretty soon because we want that moment once again. It's almost undescribable. I'm trying my best to describe this moment to you, but it's something that can only be lived. It cannot be described. That's how magical that moment was. And I hope we get this moment again and again in our Indian cricket history, because certainly we Indians would love to celebrate a moment like this. And I'm pretty sure we are going to get it pretty soon. Let's see if that happens. Till then, enjoy the 2011 World Cup final again and again.